Be ready. Start. The freedom of expression is not confined to any particular field of human interest. It can be exercised not only for religious purposes but for political, economic, scientific, cultural, or informational ends also. The nature of man and very system of society itself requires that certain restrictions and limitations be placed on this fundamental right. In Sakal Papers Limited versus Union of India, the court was of the opinion that the right to propagate one's ideas is inherent in the conception of freedom of speech and expression. For the purpose of propagating his ideas, every citizen has a right to publish them, to disseminate them, and to circulate them. He is entitled to do so either by words of mouth or by writing. The right guaranteed thus extends not merely to the matter which he is entitled to circulate, but also to the volume of circulation. In other words, a citizen is entitled to propagate his views. Further, the Supreme Court added a new dimension to freedom of speech and expression and held that the Constitution guarantees not only freedom of speech but also freedom after speech. It further added that the freedom of expression is of an inestimable value in a democratic society and is based on the rule of law. The freedom of speech and expression includes liberty to propagate one's views. It also includes the right to propagate or publish the views of the other people. Otherwise, this freedom would not include the freedom of press. From the above contents, it is evident that the court has always placed a broad interpretation on the value and content of Article 19(1)(a), making it subjective only to the restrictions permissible under Article 19(2). Efforts by intolerant authorities to curb or suffocate this freedom has always been firmly repelled, more so when public authorities have betrayed autocratic tendencies. Reasonable limits or restrictions can be imposed on the exercise of the right to freedom of speech under Article 19(2) in the interest or on the grounds of 1. Security of the state, 2. Friendly relations with foreign countries, 3. Public order, 4. Decency or morality, 5. Contempt of court, 6. Defamation, 7. Incitement to offense, and 8. Sovereignty and integrity of India. This right is one of the most important basic human rights and is essential for safeguarding and promoting other human rights. One of the restrictions on the freedom of speech and expression is the protection of public decency and morality. So, obscene works and other things of similar nature are not protected. No doubt, this Article 19 guarantees complete freedom of speech and expression, but it makes an exception in favor of existing laws which imposes restrictions on the exercise of the right in the interest of public decency and morality. Speaking in terms of the Constitution, it can hardly be claimed that obscenity, which is offensive to modesty or decency, is within the constitutional protection guaranteed to freedom of speech and expression because the article dealing with the right itself excludes it. That cherished right on which our democracy rests is meant for the expression of free opinions to change political or social conditions or for the advancement of human knowledge. This freedom is subject to reasonable restrictions which may be thought necessary in the interest of the general public. With one such is the interest of public decency and morality. He further observed that when everything is said in its favor, we find that in treating with sex, the impugned portions viewed separately and also in the setting of the whole book pass the permissible limits judged of from our community standards, and as there is no social gain to us which can be said to preponderate, we must hold the book to satisfy the test we have indicated above. The restriction under Article 19(2) can be validly imposed on decency and morality, and any law against obscenity would be protected under the same clause. But it is not always necessary that the immodest representation be restricted in the interest of decency or morality, especially where it is conducive to the propagation of ideas or information of public interest. In India, in a test to define whether a matter is obscene or not, the court followed the same test which says that the test of obscenity is this: whether the tendency of the matter charged as obscene is to deprave the corrupt those whose minds are open to such immoral influences and into whose hands a publication of this sort may fall. It is quite certain that it would suggest to minds of the young of either sex, or even to persons of more advanced years, thoughts of a most impure and libidinous character. Thank you.